9:03, day before Thanksgiving. Got off work. Got to thinking about some of the friends I've had up here. What they're doing for Thanksgiving, where they'll be. I miss a lot of these guys. Another long-time resident of the East Fork. He's been in there about 10 years. It looks like he's out. He used to live up here in the Camp Williams trailer area. He's moved on. Circumstances. Everything started going wrong for him. And it might just be, he might have just had enough. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm going to miss seeing the guy. I miss saying hi to him. And hearing the adventures that he's had. But I'm going to go up here to the East Fork, and I'm going to be back for Thanksgiving tomorrow by about lunchtime. But I'm going to go up here for the night. See if I can find any old friends wandering around. Share a meal with them. But as for the most recent gang of guys or crew of people that were frequents up here that all knew each other, some of the most recent to leave. One, the guy that left Camp Williams. I don't know if he'd mind me saying his name or not, but all the locals know who he is. Robert Ferguson, he doesn't make it up here too much anymore. He used to hang out with West Coast Larry. West Coast Larry met a girl in the Baldy village, and after dating for a year or two, they married. I filmed their wedding. They married on Glendora Ridge Road. They have a kid. They're doing great. A couple passed on. Two more moved to Alaska. Husband and wife that I met up here. They're on one of my videos. Maybe two of my videos. Yeah, him and his wife are on one, and then he's on a couple with Running Gun. He moved to Alaska. He's prospecting in Alaska. A couple moved up north. I don't know. The group just disbanded again. It does that about every 7 to 10 years. Disbands. New people take their place. But for one reason or another, as far as I go, the song remains the same. I don't really do things with them very often in groups, but all the groups know me from passing by, stopping and saying hi, sharing a Coke, sharing a meal. So it's just how things are, I guess. I'm only going back to Heaton Flats. Just didn't feel like sleeping under a roof tonight. This isn't really going to be a backpacking trip. It's just going to be a hammock camp. Going back to Heaton Flats. It's only about a quarter mile from the parking lot, maybe. And see if any of my friends are hanging out there. Hennessy Hex tarp. Ground's really tough. I didn't bring any stakes because the ground's really hard. So I just tied off wrapped around rocks. If you don't have enough rocks, what you can do is you can just put it around a branch. I have a small branch. I have a rock on there. Slap tree saver straps. Jack's a better underquilt. Rock. To a branch. The rock is just to keep the branch from moving. Rock. These center ones go to the hammock. Keep it spread out a little bit. Just got my backpack up there temporarily. I'm going to take it in with me. It's empty. Take my canteen of water with me. That's that bag of lights right there. That'll go in with me. Camera case will go in with me. Now, what I did here, I got this rope, threw it up there with a rock around that. I'll show you in the morning. Comes down underneath this piece of bark with a tree to the stick to hold it. I put a dropper loop out in the center of this rope where the center would be. Hung it down here. Then I came over here and I threw a rock over this one. Left some slack. I hooked the food bag to the dropper loop. And then I just pull this up and tie it there. There's no branch to hang it from really. Raccoons can get to it. So I put it up about 10 feet out in the center in between these two trees. It's only about 20 feet from my tarp, but I'm not too worried. If something comes, it comes. No, I didn't bring a knife, gun, bow and arrow, bazooka, flamethrower, or anything. Just really not too worried. Mountain lions have been seen through here a couple years ago. There are some foxes that live down there, or they used to before the drought. Bobcats are a regular thing up here, but they really don't mess with your food. The only thing you don't worry about is the raccoons, the rats, and the possums. I'm gonna go in here, read, go to sleep. Okay. My backpack is hooked on the outside on the rope coming down, on the whoopee sling. The top of the pack and the belt is about 2 feet down over the ridge line. So my backpack is up against my bottom of my calves and legs. My gloves are hanging right there. I don't even think I'm going to use them tonight. It's not that cold. My down jacket's back there. My Costco $49 down jacket. It's pretty nice. TNC 12 2016 is in its sheath, and the Velcro just over the top of the ridge line and hooked. It's T10. It's T10 with the cap. I saw a guy use a chapstick cap. Worked pretty nice too. And the headlight's on. Let me shut the headlight off. There you go. Sit here and read till I fall asleep. Wake up in the morning. Walk around, have some breakfast. Work my way back to the car. Okay, I threw the rope over this with a rock. Just let the rock hang. Then I brought this back over here. Tied a dropper loop on it. Then I brought it over here. Threw it over another branch. Brought it down to a stick. And just wedged the stick underneath that. Pull that up taut. Pull that up taut. Raise that up. Center. Away from me. Higher than anything locally is going to grab it. It's a good way to do it when you don't have a branch to hang it directly from. Here's the ingredients for breakfast. Mini Trangia. Coating's starting to come off, but I've had it about 5 years. And it's not coming off bad. Take care of it. I use the original protection sheet plus some paper towels. Canteen. This little yellow thing is just a piece of plastic I found when I closed this. It goes on there to keep it closed and to protect it from scratching the liner. Got some coffee, hot dog, some butter, some onions, 2 eggs, honey, salt, pepper, a tea, some Tabasco. Make breakfast out of this. Just wrapped around, twist it a few times, pull this, that'll come out. Whoopie sling. These are the snake skins, will slide over. Jacks are better, underquilt. Hammock gear, overquilt. Hammock gear, overquilt, pillow, schmog wrapped around it. Slept quite comfortable. Wasn't until I get out in the morning, my hands start going numb. It's cold up here. Eggs are done. Coffee's done. East Fork River. One cool thing about the Trangia, well, many cool things about the Trangia, but the cool things, you don't have to let the excess fuel burn off. You drop the cap on it, you drop the simmer cap on it, simmer ring, boom, put it out, and then you screw the cap back on. It's got a gasket in it. Take your fuel to the next camp. Look at the J there. I left the little scrambled eggs and hot dog on the ground. Right next to that stick there. Let's see. Little yellow pieces there. They're waiting for me not to pay attention so they can come and get them. There's 2 of them. Hennessy sells this thing called a super shelter. Let me show you what that is. I got tricked into this. Actually, it's not tricked. Trick is, that's saying they meant to do me dirty. They didn't mean to do me dirty. The whole hammock thing was just taking off. Underquilts were not really around at the time. So Hennessy came up with this super shelter, 4-season insulation. You'll see it on their website. Some old guy, it's a thing that goes underneath, similar to this. This is the top. This is not is real nice for cold. But there's an underneath like that. And then there's a piece of foam and a reflective blanket. It does not work. You will freeze. And I think it sells for $125. Don't buy it. Nothing against Hennessy, but don't buy it. Just to be honest with you, don't buy it. $125, you could buy yourself a used or an old or a cheap sleeping bag underneath. Leave it unzipped completely. Rig up a way to put it underneath. You could probably get one for $20. There's all kinds of videos how to do it. Or if you want to buy one, these jacks are better. This is real nice. Hammock gear. Those are the only 2 I've personally experienced. Jacks are better. Cinches up here real nice. This is the full one. Shuggy Shug uses the 3/4 one. And he's in Minnesota. If he can do it in Minnesota, you can do it out here with the 3/4. But you need something underneath you, because at night, even if you're not that cold, at night, your bag, sleeping bag, compresses to nothing in back of you, and the wind and the cold hits this, you will be hurting. Literally it's painful. So underquilt, very necessary. Now, sleeping bag. Sleeping bag, if you ever try to sleep in a hammock, you continuously waking up sliding. Continuously. There are 2 ways around that I've learned. Buy you some of that non-grip stuff from Walmart on the roll. It's like a little checkerboard you put inside your kitchen drawers. Cut yourself a 2-foot by, well, it comes in 2 foot. It comes in like 16-inch actually, I think. Cut yourself the width of the roll and the length of about 4 feet. Rolls up real light. Put that down under your sleeping bag. That'll help you grip to this. This stuff's slick. Or get yourself an overquilt. An overquilt is just a blanket with a foot box. Snaps around your neck too. Real nice. This is a 20 degree, but I got an extra 3 ounces of down. So I've taken this down to about a 15, equal to my plasma. You're good to go. Oh, you need to get the Hennessy or any other hammock. You can go to Hennessy. These are like $12, but from that newsletter, you see these used all the time where people have returned the whole hammock. They sell these for $7 at Christmas time too, and right after Christmas, which now is perfect. These slide, everything goes compact inside of it. Not the quilts, of course, but just to pack your stuff away. My coffee cup. There's the snakeskins. Hammock was strung from there to there. Cooking was done there. Food was held back there. And once again, once you leave the camp, you see the highest peak right here on the east side where it comes down. That's Will Heaton's mine. Easily accessed. Right in those bushes. You go up, you'll actually hit the remainders of an old blacktop road that goes majority of the way. 2 structures still stand. You look off to the west over here, and you can see, well, behind this bush here. Look at the size of that man's needle. It's massive. One of the biggest ones around. But you look behind it, you see the lines coming down. I have an old black and white photo in a book where right there they were doing hydraulic mining. They're blasting from on top of this. There's a picture of sedly peck with the actual nozzle. They're blasting that. He was not blasting it, but I believe he took that nozzle and had it at his museum. Right now, that nozzle with many other items are sitting, rusting on the Chapman Ranch in Baldy, which is the next valley over to the east. The Chapman family has rights to a lot of land back there. They're up above the trout pond, on the same side as the trout pond, the east side of the river, right before Ice House. Well, not right before, but in between Ice House and the trout pond, closer to the trout pond. Chapman Ranch. One of these days, I'm going to buy me a mousetrap. No, one of these days, I'm going to get in touch with those Chapmans and see if they will let me tour their boneyard. Take a look at the historical items. See if I can find that blasting nozzle. The picture with Sedley Peck is standing by. There's evidence of hydraulic mining all over that hillside up there. Imagine the gold they were pulling out here back then. For there to be about 1,100 encampments between, between what they call Nugget Alley and the Narrows. 1,100 people, they say, were camped alongside this river. Rough estimate. Majority of them down here in El Doradoville. Imagine they were down there working by the river. Well, up here they were hearing large explosions as they were dynamiting all this to put in this road, this trail. A lot of things back here people just take for granted. The forestry put this in. The government put this in. No, they didn't. They didn't put this in. This was private people who had claims back here, breaking their back to make a living. They didn't go home to their home, come up here and work. This was their home. That was Will Heaton's home. His house used to be right up there above those trees. He's buried back there. They've long since moved the marker because of vandals. He's buried back there. You also got to take into consideration that the town down below, all the cities down below, did not exist. There's pictures in the La Habra Library, right next to the Harbor Library. If you're familiar with that area of Orange County, you're looking out the La Habra Library front door. You're looking at the back door of the police station right across the parking lot. Now, if you turn to your right, you follow that sidewalk up, it leads to a museum. The museum, I believe it's free, donations, runs off donations, runs off people who were born in the area, people like 60, 70, 80 and up, who know what used to be what in the area, the cornfields, the avocado fields, the groves, the orange groves, and all the locals, not all of, but a lot of the locals and other people have contributed old photos of what that area looked like way back, late 1800s, early 1900s. And I've seen photos where when the Gabrielinos, is what we call them now, but came over the Palmdale area, down by Chantry Flats looking down, when there's one tree down below. One tree. There's one tree down there. That's it. Everything else was pretty much desert. And then I seen another picture down by Palos Verdes, looking up towards San Gabriel's, and just flat land with tumbleweeds, yuccas, everything as far as the eye could see. Back then, that area of there's a good campsite down here too. If it wasn't for all this graffiti, right in that stretch of trees. Where was I? Oh, that area back then was known as the land of the big sky. That's where, okay, the Native Americans, contrary to popular belief, all Native Americans and Native people of the Americas, they were not in big old tribes. Some places, yes, like the Hopi and so on, Cherokee. But the Gabrielinos were kind of like no more than 20 or 30 is what I've read. Here, splotched out here all over. But they were familiar with each other and did not have problems with each other. But when they did have problems with one another, it was not done in battle like the movies. They took this down to one of the main guys, the main argument settlers down land of the big sky, which is down by Palos Verdes somewhere. And they paid him tax. Acorns from up here, obsidian from up by Yellowstone, which they got from the Chumash, which the Chumash got from, and so on and so on. They just had a network, a peaceful network. and they brought them down to this guy. This guy made the decision, and they stood by it. Now, when the missionaries came through, the missionaries hit that area big time. They got that. A lot of people from here left to go with them for the shiny new objects and the new foods and a different looking woman or a different looking man, and the bloodline started to thin more and more. Well, the last recorded tribe of these local mountains right here in this area of Azusa resided down at a place now known as Recon, up on that bluff. There's a last pictorial known to exist in this range. A picture of it in 100 Hikes of San Gabriel's. That's where it used to be located. That picture was taken in the late 60s. The river has since washed it off. It's gone. It's barely visible and long overgrown, and it's actually on protected land now, and there are cameras right there in that area. And there's a ranger station down there, a fire department, and if you go on the land, they are aware you're there. So, look, a pyramid. Now, could it be ancient alien theories? So, they lived there on that bluff, and prospectors and miners up in this canyon were tired of them bringing more people and more people and more people to come in and show them where the gold is. So one night, a bunch of not so good people, evil people. I'm not saying all prospectors are evil, they are not. A lot of them would give you the shirt off their back. They're helpful guys. I had a lot of good friends are prospectors. But they went down, walked down there in the middle of the night with their rifle butts, rocks, sticks, whatever they used, bashed in the heads of all 33 or 32 members of that tribe, men, women, and children. And they're buried not far from there in unmarked graves. And that dropped it down to four Native Americans living in this area. And if you watch this video, look up Sedly Peck on YouTube. It's an 8-part video. You won't be able to stop once you start. If you're interested in this mountain, in this history and prospecting, you will not be able to stop once you start watching them. So grab some popcorn and Coke and kick back, because Sedly Peck, I'll put a link down the bottom. He used to live right down the trail here. Him and Flo, his wife, settled here, and they're big names. Well, they talk about 4 Native Americans in this area. 1 lived back here, 2 lived back here, 1 lived down this way, and 1 lived right around the corner. And they were the last 4. When they were gone, the bloodline here in the mountains was lost. There are still some Gabrielinos, purebloods, I'm not sure, but there are still some Gabrielinos down below in Azusa and the foothills. But the purebreds, I'm not sure if any exist anymore. It's too bad, huh? Way back, this, not the lot, this is where you drove down the park. There are a couple areas down here right below the lot that are real nice, easy access, close, real nice areas to camp. Coming up on one of them now, I'll show it to you in a second here. Up above you got the road to nowhere, also known as the Shoemaker Road. 20 years in the construction, mostly prisoners. that was going to be the back way out for when this road up to the bridge to nowhere, that was going to go all the way to Wrightwood. Flight of 38 changed their minds. And that one was abandoned because the other road was washed out. But that road goes up and goes through two really cool tunnels. Ends at a water tank sitting in the middle of nowhere. Looks like something out of X-Files. The pyramid. Now, could it be? I believe it is. This is that campground. You got some maniac, probably got drunk or on drugs or something. Started taking his Bear Grylls machete to this tree. He probably broke his Bear Grylls machete on this tree. What was that idiot thinking? Look at that. I'm gonna chop this tree down. Why? Why? You got some deranged people walking this planet. Look at that. Tree stands here for 100 years. Some 17-year-old dork comes up here with a plastic candle machete. Starts hacking on it. I hope you OD'd that night. Hammock hang here. Those are too close. This is a little far, but you can do it. Or hammocking over there. Tents. The parking lot's right there. In case you have kids, you're worried about needing to get out in a hurry if something happens. Here you go. Use that trash can though. Don't leave your trash laying around. Easy access to the river. You can camp all along there too. No campfires down here, by the way. There's a really cool campsite back there up against the hill. There's another one down around here. Down around here, the canyon closes up. If I can get across. The canyon closes up down here. And on the west side, all kinds of places to hang your hammock. And at night, deer come up through there. Don't have a fire, obviously. They're not going to smell the fire. They may walk right past you. I've been camped, let's see. I was camped right over here one time in my Terra Nova 2-man. Right over there by those trees. And 2 deer. I heard their hoofs. And I looked out and I seen them walking. I seen the deer's hooves walking right past. They went up through there and into that canyon back there where the old fire department used to be. Back up and out. Up here finishing off a second coffee. Getting ready to pack up to go. Thought I'd go ahead and bake myself a muffin. Berry muffin for the trip down. Doesn't look like it's going, but it's going. I always open up those vents to get it started. Once it gets started going pretty good, I close up those vents for baking. I've learned to leave them open for cooking. It's about done. A few more minutes. Here's the muffin I made up in the mountains. Brought it home. Baking set works really nice. Look how moist it is. This is just one of those dollar triple berry things you can get from Walmart or Target. No eggs or anything, just a quarter cup of water. Split the bag in half. You get 2 of these, 1/8 of a cup of water. Really good. Anyway, thanks for watching. Happy Thanksgiving.